Hey guys, I'm Rich from NeoWin. Today we're talking about Windows 10 Mobile build 14.3.22. Now, this is the first mobile build that we've seen since the build conference, so there are a lot of new features. It's all the cool new stuff that they showed off at the conference. Now, before I lose my chance to talk about it, notice that when it's migrating the data here, it's step 5 of 9, where before it was out of 20-something. Right. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Last week, I would have missed my chance. So last week, they released build 14.3.16 for PCs. Now, they didn't release a phone build because there was a cellular bug. Now, this week, they released the mobile build. They promised it would be this week, but now there's no PC build because there's a bug in the PC build. So this is what we get, and I'm sure the PC build won't have nearly as many new features because this is all about showing us what they were talking about at build. So there is a lot of cool new stuff. Now, there's some phones that are still upgrading. Let's push these out of the way. And for the time being, I have Goldie and Goldie Jr. Goldie the Third is being updated. Now, let's start with Goldie Jr. because that's the one that I actually use as a daily driver. So one thing I've noticed about this build that we learned about in 14.3.16, but it's not really in the release notes for this build, is that Cortana will automatically try to install a supported language if your phone doesn't come with a supported language, which is really nice. It used to send you to settings to do it before, so now it's just going to do it, which is it's really useful. Anyway, well, you know what would be even more useful is supporting Cortana in all those languages to begin with, but we're not going to go there. All right, so we've got visual changes in the Action Center. So now we don't see the name of the app for each notification. They are now grouped by app. All right, so we also have visual changes to notifications. We're going to get to that in just a little bit when we talk about some Cortana improvements, but we're making Action Center richer with support for notifications with more flexible layouts, similar to the richness of live tiles. Notifications with images will now display larger than they did previously. Notifications can have a hero image for content that is even bigger image size an even bigger image size to make content and notifications pop even more. All right, so Cortana notifications in Action Center. We have also added new insights from Cortana to ensure that you are not missing anything important, such as a meeting conflict or anything she needs to remind you about. Right? Notification prioritization in Action Center. Now, that's something that we're going to get to right now. I'll use the shortcut so no one flips out. Because if I didn't use that shortcut and I just scrolled down, people would tell me that I've never used a Windows phone before. All right, so we're going to go to System, Notifications and Actions. All right, so here we could find an app and we can go to, say, Cortana, and we say we want this to be our top notification. Of course, there's two tops there. It's an insider build. It's a fast ring build, so we're expecting bugs. Don't be surprised. Of course, if we switch it to the other top, it just combines the two. Also, number of notifications visible in Action Center. This is new as well. This was something that we got in build 14.3.16, but again, there was no 14.3.16 for mobile, so it's all new to us. Okay, so we can also customize our quick actions over here. So if I want to move battery saver over here, I don't use it too much. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should move it to the top because battery on these builds aren't very great. So either way, you could switch them around, and now we can see that it's all there. Fantastic. There's a lot of new features, so just kind of bear with me here. So Cortana improvements. Now this is what I was going to get to with the hero images in the Action Center. More ways to create Cortana reminders. We're making it easier and quicker to set a reminder in Cortana with 2 new exciting ways to create reminders. Exciting! You can now create a photo reminder by taking a picture of something you want to be reminded about, like that beer you just tried and want to pick up next time you're at the store. Now, obviously, that suggestion is all for Mary Jo Foley. And if you know who Mary Jo Foley is, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you can't really call yourself a Windows fan, and you should watch Windows Weekly. You can also now set reminders on content from UWP apps that utilize a shared contract in Windows, like Microsoft Edge and the News app, so you don't forget to read that article your friend sent you. You can share an article from the news app to Cortana and have her remind you to read it at a later time. This even works with photos from your collection in the Photos app. Give it a try. All right, so we're going to try this. We're going to say, Cortana, remind me to buy a Red Bull in 2 minutes. Okay, so yeah, and then we can add a picture here. If it doesn't crash this time, because I just spent the last 3 minutes trying to reboot this phone. So yeah, it lets you pick the picture if the photo library loads. All these loading and resuming screens are something that we become all too familiar with. Now this is okay. So there we go. We have our picture here. And then it should, if all goes well, remind us in a couple minutes. Now, again, I'm complaining about bugs only because I'm frustrated. I've been trying to demo this for the last few minutes, and it's just been such a terrible experience. Now, this is something that we should expect from a fast ring build. Okay, I don't really have a right to complain about it because it's the way it is in the fast ring. And you're asking for it if you install these builds, but I really, it's just frustrating when you're trying to do a demo. Icons for individual settings pages. All right, so we can go back into notifications and actions here, or back to the systems menu. You can see we have icons there. All right, so that's new. Navigation bar settings page and vibration settings. So we're going to see two things here. We go to personalization. We have a navigation bar page. All right, and you also see vibration for navigation bar. Double tap the navigation bar to turn up the screen. You also see glance has been moved here. Whoops, I tapped the lock screen. Glance. All right, so that's there's nothing new in glance. It's just been moved. Updated battery settings and battery saving experience. All right, so this is something that we saw for PC in last week's builds. Okay, a lot of the features that we're seeing here are really just about getting it parallel with the PC build. And if we had gotten a mobile build last week, a lot of these wouldn't be considered new features. Okay, so we also have new Windows Update settings. All right, now this is something that, again, it says phone update. We have the icons, and we can also set active hours. So this is setting 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Now it's interesting because the PC would set it. Oh, and there's that notification for the picture reminder that I just set. And now we have our hero image here, as you can see. All right, if we go into the Action Center, we have the hero image there. Right? And that's why I said we'll get to that later, because we finally got this thing to work. I'm excited about it. All right. So anyway, PC set the active hours for something like 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, because it assumes hours you're working. And it's interesting that for a phone, they set it for hours you're going to be awake. All right. So we'll leave that. We also have updated emoji. Now, who doesn't love new emoji? So you look, it's a complete redesign from the old Windows emojis, which is a welcome redesign because really they were just so bad, the old ones. They were just dull, and it was just something that they had to take care of. Now, as we could see, the middle finger emoji is still not available on here. If you really want to go into these emojis, I'm not going to go through all of them. But you can check it out. Install the builds. It's all redesigned. All right. So Microsoft Edge improvements, better copy and paste. One thing we have is better tab behavior. So what you're gonna get is if you open a link that opens a new tab. For example, this is all the release notes from this particular build. You can see just how much there is here. All right, so source link will open a new tab. Of course, that link has to work. There we go. And what's going to happen is now if you press back, it's going to close that tab. That's something that it really just, it's common sense and it's awesome. USB Ethernet support with Continuum. Continuum capable phones now include support for most USB Ethernet adapters. If you connect a USB Ethernet adapter, your Lumia 950 or 950 XL via the Microsoft Display Dock, for example, You'll have network connectivity through an attached Ethernet cable if you notice this feature. You may see an error message the first time you connect. There is nothing wrong with your adapter, and the message will be eliminated in a future update. Not all adapters are supported yet. More will be added in a future update. In this update, you will not see a visual indicator that you are connected, so if you want to double check that it's working, you can turn off Wi-Fi and cellular data. Windows 10 Mobile supports proxy configuration for Wi-Fi and VPN configurations. Proxy support for LAN configurations will be available in a future update. Improved experience on the lock screen. This is a big deal. We have a camera icon on the lock screen. It's right here, and it'll bring us right to the camera. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, but Rich, I have a camera button. Why the hell would I need a camera button on the lock screen? Well then, you obviously have the nice phones, right? Because there's a lot of low-end phones like the Lumia 535, the 550. These phones do not have camera buttons, and ever since Microsoft got rid of the camera button, I know all you guys out there, because I've been upset about it too, I don't mind it quite as much anymore, but really, when on other phones, almost every Android phone or every iPhone does have some kind of icon on the lock screen for quick access to the camera. So it's really nice to see Microsoft taking care of those people as well. One thing you're going to notice about this camera button on the lock screen here is that obviously physical keys don't have it. You would think that maybe they would program that back button to be a camera button on phones with these buttons. They didn't. Maybe they will in a future build, but hey, not right now. I know the good news there is that most phones that have those physical buttons have a physical camera button as well. So you probably don't really care about the lock screen camera button. There are phones that have the physical navigation keys but don't have the physical camera button. The Lumia 430, 435, and 532 come to mind. That sums up the Lumias. I don't believe there are any other phones that actually got upgraded to Windows 10 that are going to have that issue. I'm sure they'll work something out because I'm sure that, as always, anybody who gets left out here is going to be very vocal. Media controls show on top of the lock screen. So I'm not going to demonstrate the media controls on the lock screen. I'm sure you can imagine how it works. It's your standard media controls, but the reason I won't demonstrate them is because if I did, I wouldn't be able to monetize this video. They would tell me I'm using copyrighted content, even though it is legally fair use. Anyway, finally, Messaging Everywhere preview coming soon. Now, they said this when 14.3.16 came out. They're saying it again. We will soon be enabling a preview of the Messaging Everywhere feature in Windows 10 that allows you to send and receive text messages from your phone directly from your Windows 10 PCs. You'll see options for this feature in the messaging app on PC, but not on mobile. A newer mobile build is required for this experience to fully light up. More to come on this when the experience is live. All right, so anyway, fixes and known issues. If you're only interested in the new features, this is the part where you can tune out. While we were researching issues impacting typing accuracy on end-user phones, we discovered that many user dictionaries contain incorrect words or have been corrupted over time. As a one-time measure, we are resetting user dictionaries on phones to address this issue. Note that if you suspect that your user dictionary is interfering with efficient typing, you can always manually clean it by going to Settings, Privacy, Speech, Inking and Typing, and select Stop Getting to Know Me, Turn Off, Start Getting to Know Me, Turn On. In addition to this, we have added a new context to the feedback hub so you can now directly log feedback for the typing suggestions or corrections. It can be found under the input and interaction methods category. If you're reporting an issue, specific examples of what you're seeing are always helpful. We fixed an issue resulting in the screen flickering while watching a full screen video or when you first launched the camera app. Note that, as we can see right here, I thought maybe they were talking about this issue with the 535. It does not fix that. All right, we've tuned the alarm volume ramp up for alarms using your music. The initial volume will be the same softer level we started using in earlier builds as a result of your feedback, but now it will get louder faster. We updated the reminder and alert notification logic, so if you answer a call while at least one notification is visible, you no longer need to dismiss that notification before being able to end the call. You will now see the call in progress banner above the notification while in this state, and tapping it will bypass any existing notifications without having to first dismiss them. We fixed an issue where pressing the hardware volume controls would quit Netflix playback. We fixed an issue where Chinese input method editor users would lose their typing history after reboot, as well as an issue resulting in the Chinese 12-key keyboard crashing if you typed Erbo. We fixed an issue where swiping from start to the all apps list would get stuck after exiting Continuum. We fixed an issue where music would sometimes stop playing a few minutes after the device had been locked or the screen had been turned off. We fixed an issue resulting in the keyboard dismissing when you tap the first key after being interacted with the app bar. We fixed an issue where trying to delete and retype an autocorrection would result in it getting autocorrected again. We fixed an issue where locking and unlocking the phone quickly with Action Center open could result in Start being stuck on resuming. We fixed an issue where the keyboard would sometimes show all black when responding to a text in the Action Center above the lock screen. We fixed an issue where users with their lock screen set to Bing would just see the default Windows 10 background. We fixed an issue resulting in a missing Windows logo above the start screen in the task switcher. We fixed an issue where phone call could stop ringing if interrupted by an SMS notification. We fixed an issue where the app name on the start tile could be truncated even though there's space available to display it. We fixed an issue where volume control would continue to show headphones volume after headphones have been disconnected. Notification text and banners in Action Center will now grow larger when the ease of access text scaling option is enabled. All right, known issues, and there's only 5. We're almost done, guys. Hang in there. Language and speech packs are unable to be downloaded and will show errors due to a back-end issue. We're investigating a crash with the camera app when going into your camera roll. All right, so these are both issues that I've had. Downloading a speech pack, I noted the Cortana thing before where it would automatically download speech. So now it's trying to download speech, but due to a known issue, it just can't. So that explains a lot. A crash with the camera app when going into your camera roll, that would explain the thing that I spent 10 minutes doing before trying to get the picture reminders to work. All right, so next up, there is an issue where you may see duplicate apps under all apps showing as pending despite being installed and usable on your phone. You may also see some apps stuck in the store. You may see square boxes in certain apps when using some of the new emoji. We're still getting support for the new emoji added throughout the systems. This will be resolved in a future build. In some cases, users might be get in a state where neither space or enter are working on the keyboard. If that happens, pressing and holding one of the apps in the all apps list until a context menu appears may resolve the issue. If this doesn't work, you will need to reboot. All right, guys, that's it. All right, it's a lot. I know it's a lot. It's exciting, though, because this is the anniversary update. This is what we heard about at Build. This is what's coming, because we had been getting Redstone build for like 5 months. A lot of those builds just contain no new features at all. The features that we did get were trivial, and a lot of times they would end up in the production ring as well. I mean, like the ability to send a picture through Skype in the messaging and Skype app. Right? Obviously, that wasn't even coming into Redstone because Redstone's going to get the universal Skype app. Now, this is the regular Skype app. The actual UWP Skype app that we got in 14.3.16 should be coming soon. Yeah, so the one major feature that we got before build was edge extensions, but other than that, nothing. So we're really getting a lot of cool new stuff here. I just want to see if that tile is chaseable, as they call it, because the chaseable live tiles that we're getting, yeah, it's not, is where if you see something on a tile, opening that tile will bring you directly to that. So it would bring you to this tweet, but that's something that, I mean, it's a frustrating thing because a lot of times you see something and it crashes. A lot of times you see something on a live tile, especially like news, and you open it and that headline was from a couple days ago and you can't find it at all. So the fact that it'll bring you to that is pretty cool. The one thing that I'm not a fan of is the fact that there's really no way to simply launch the app anymore. Anyway, guys, that's it. I'm Rich from NeoWin. Have a great night.